Hi guys, Frank here with Build Your Own. Today I'm down here with Ron Wade at the Ron Wade Collection. We're looking at his 1941 Chevy Special Deluxe Cabriolet, believed to be the most heavily optioned Chevy Deluxe in 1941.
As Frank just told you, this is, we believe, the most heavily optioned 41 Chevrolet in the world. It has all of the rarest of rare accessories, including the factory auto umbrella that goes in the holder on the right kickboard, the 7-faceted license plate reflectors that are on the rear license plate. I looked for those for 40 years, never ever talked to anybody had ever even seen any before. With 51 factory accessories, I suppose we can walk around it and point at all of them. We'll start out with the front wheel here. Starting out with the 41 wheels, we have the accessory wheel disc and the beauty ring, as well as the white wall tire. Moving on back on the fender, you'll see the washboards there on the back of the fender. Moving on down to below the door there, you see the foot scrapers. This was the first year that Chevrolet did not have running boards, and so Chevrolet was concerned that the farmers were going to bitch, and so they made these foot scrapers an option. A very rare option. They were not very popular, and now then they've gotten very expensive. Moving up here, you see the outside mirror accessory, the spotlight, and if you move over to the top of the cowl there, you see the windshield washers. Moving back on the car, you see the 41 Chevrolet fender skirts. I paid, I think, $800 just for the moldings for those fender skirts back in the early 70s, so that was a lot of money then. A rare option. The fender skirts are kind of exist, but the moldings are very difficult to come by. Then moving up on the fender, you see the locking gas cap. Moving down on the bumper, you see the fender guards, and in the middle of the bumper you see the fold down rear guard. And the reason that guard has to fold down is because the spare tire lays flat on the trunk floor, and it has to fold down so that you can pull the tire out. Looking at the license plate here, you see that the license plate frame looks pretty normal, but it's just 41 Chevrolet only as far as I know. And the difference is that normally the telescopic pieces, the corners telescope into the straight pieces. Here, the 41 Chevrolet ones, they reverse it. The straight pieces telescope into the corner pieces. Going down to the license plate reflectors, I looked for these for 40 years, and I never talked to anybody that's ever even seen any, and they only have 7 facets, and I spotted them at a Hershey in a display case a few years ago. Up at the top of the license plate frame, you see my initials, and that was a factory option where you could put your initials on your license plate. Moving to the other side of the car, you see the very rare telescopic antenna, which has a knob underneath the dash. Let's see if we can see the knob underneath the dash that rolls that antenna up and down. It's at can you see it right through the steering wheel? Yeah, just to the right of the steering column there. You rotate that knob to run that antenna up and down. This is a original 41 Chevrolet accessory. Like every accessory we talk about is an original 41 Chevrolet accessory right out of the Chevrolet accessory book. And the thermometer is the same thing. Looking at the center in the seat there, you see with the 41 Chevy model on it is the rear fold down armrest. You see the spinner steering wheel? It's got kind of like a built-in squirrel knob, and so that was also an accessory. The turn signals. This was the second year that Chevrolet offered turn signals, so it's a rare item. You look above the dash there, and you'll see the knob, and that switches from 1 horn to 2 horns. They're saying town and country, or city and country, so apparently you could make the horn quieter when you're in town than when you're out in the country. Probably can't see it from here over there, but over there is an electric clock. Standard clock was a wind-up one, but the optional clock was the electric one, which we have here. If you look up at the center of the dash, above the center of the dash is a factory compass for the 41 Chevrolet. A rare option, and because they were plastic and stuff, they may have been more of them, but of course they didn't survive. And above that is a very rare day-night mirror. Now you're looking at the lit vanity mirror. This green plastic visor is a fold-down item for the sun, and I went to a Hershey swap meet, or not, scratch that. I went to a Harris swap meet in Reno. That was a long time ago, and that was when I was just starting this project, and somebody brought me and showed me a copy of an original accessory catalog for a 41 Chev, and I went, after I glanced through that, I went out into the swap meet, and 10 minutes later I bought this green plastic fold down bed. I have never seen another one since. Timing is everything. And here you're looking at the ivory ball spotlight knob. This was a 41 Chev item, only 1 year. They used similar spotlights in other years, but it's the only year that had the ivory ball. Very, very rare, very rare. On the right there, you see the accessory knob that Chevrolet offered for the cowl ventilator. And to the left is the knob where we talked about a minute ago for the reel antenna. The radio is a 5-band radio with 4 shortwave bands as well as AM, and they say that at night you can pick up Europe even on this radio. One of the interesting things that Chevrolet did was that you see the gorgeous pleated leather front seat, but if you look at the back seat, why you see that it is not pleated and it's vinyl. And so I guess that was a one-way of achieving it. So that's the way Chevrolet did it. Pleated leather front seat, plain vinyl back seat. I was very fortunate when purchasing this car because the ID tag on the firewall identified the car as having ruby maroon paint and the black top, which was a perfect colors for my taste. And so it took us 3 tries to get the color right, but I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. Moving around to the front of the car, you see the accessory optional Flying Lady hood ornament. Moving down on the front of the car, you see the optional driving lights. They were not commonly used. The fog lights were a more common accessory, but I had these new old stock in the box and they're different, so I like them. Down on the bumper, you see the accessory bumper guards and overrider, and again, the factory license plate frame. In April of 1941, Chevrolet offered this special valve cover with a breather, and I'm guessing that this was in preparation for World War II, that they needed this special breather on the valve cover. Very, very rare option. You look at the accessory oil-filled air filter for the engine, then you'll see the factory overflow tank up there, and if you move around over here, you'll see the very, very rare factory oil filter, and behind it, the windshield washer bottle. See, here you see the key lock to lock the door, and have the little cover that flips out of the way. And these cars only had it on the passenger side, keep you away from the traffic, that protect your lady. And here you see what the 41 Cabriolets had, the pot metal chromed frame with the glass back glass, and it was in the whole back canvas part of the top. You can see the seams on both sides folds down out of the way when you put the top down.
So here we are in the trunk, and there's more goodies in the trunk. So this is the, what is this?
This is the bug screen for in front of the grill to keep the bugs off of your grill.
That's awesome. I love that. In the winter time to cover up the grill, huh?
Yep.
When it got too cold outside.
10-4. Yeah, this is, you ready? This
Yeah.
is the cover for the grill for when it got too cold outside. I can remember being with my father in his 1941 Ford when we lived in Eastern Oregon, and driving while the car was freezing up, even though the car was driving, and we had to stop at a neighbor and put some hot water in the car to thaw it out. And so obviously that's why they had covers like this.
So if you got a flat tire,
This is the factory accessory tire pump that you could buy.
and these are all the factory tools.
Yes. This is a reproduction of the original cardboard toolbox, made exactly like the original one was. And inside you see the factory tools that came with it: the screwdriver, the end wrenches, the pipe wrench, the jack handle, the jack base, the ball peen hammer, the plug adjustments, gaps This was, like I say, all part of this toolkit if you bought the toolkit. And here we are looking at the items out of the trunk, including the accessory, very rare, tire pump. You see the jack and the lug wrench to the lower left. Lower right is the hand crank, and believe it or not, these cars were set up to be a hand crank. If we move around to the front of the car, you'll see the very, very rare piece to support the jack. If you look right there, you see you can support the jack there. So when you want to crank the engine. Moving around to the rear of the car, you see the shark's tail exhaust tip. You see the up on top of here, you see the backup light, and just below the tail light, you see the valve stem receptor, so that you could check the tire pressure in your spare tire. And come back here to the fold down guard. Again, you see the guard folded down. Well, that was actually the trunk guard to guard the trunk lid and so forth. But as you can see, the spare tire, it lays flat there underneath the shelf. And so to be able to slide that spare tire out, you had to be able to fold that guard down so the tire could come out. And here you see a display sign that we made to go with the car. And it only shows 50 accessories, but the reality is that it has 51 accessories now that I found the incredibly rare reflectors that we showed you on the rear license plate.
Thank you, Ron, for sharing your 1941 Chevrolet Special Deluxe Cabriolet with us with 51 original accessories. As you can see, there are other great cars in the Ron Wade collection. I suggest that you come down here to the museum and check them out for yourself. I'll put the link to the website down in the description below. Matter of fact, when I was down here the last time, I took a look at this 1970 Ford Ranchero with a 429.
SCJ, one of 22.
You heard it right there. Beautiful car right there. I think I also took a look at this Cobra when I was down here, as well as this 1999 Dodge Viper ACR. Only one, serial number 001, actually, that much I do remember. So nice car, a lot of great cars down here. Make sure you come and check out the collection down here in Vancouver, Washington.